Hi, everyone. Happy Jewelry Party Wednesday. I am here with you. I am going to be talking about all kinds of gorgeous vintage jewelry treasures that we have selected for you. My tray is small, but it is mighty, and we will have a wonderful time talking about all of these fabulous pieces going back from the 1920s through roughly the 1980s, and we definitely have some absolutely fantastic pieces up for your consideration tonight. So if you're just joining us, please go ahead, say hello. Let me know how you're doing. What's your day like? I know that my day has been a little crazy here. It was a very busy day today. Our son, who is in third grade, he went back to school. Our daughter, who's a sophomore, she went back on Monday. And my other daughter, she is going to college next week. And my sister had her baby. So it has been very busy here, and it's just been a lot of fun. So it's been a great time to plan what I was going to wear in advance and just let the accessories do the talking for me. So it's been a lot of fun. So, of course, I'm guessing that if you are new here, I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to celebrate the joy of jewelry with me and the other ladies that we have joining us. I am flying solo tonight, so you're going to have to be a little bit patient with me when I'm going ahead and giving out links, but I'm going to do the very best that I can to make sure that I give things out in a timely manner as well. But everything that you see that I'm talking about tonight is under our new arrival section over at Vintage Meet Modern. So I know that you will have a lot of fun getting to see all the pieces that we have. So we're going to start off right away. I'm sure, I frequently say that I start the shows off by talking about my favorite pieces or wearing my favorite pieces. And I know that hands down, that this was definitely going to be my favorite this week. And I can't believe that it's still here. So this is that fantastic long, it's over 60 inches long necklace that features the jewel toned beads. And it does have some really lovely little gold filigree beads that have been mixed in with it. It has some faceted lucite, but what I'd love to point out about the faceted lucite is that they are of a fantastic quality. There's no little hash marks or any discoloration or scratches to the lucite at all. It has these lustrous pearlized beads that are both in the blue color, and then they come in sort of a purpley jewel tone. And then there's a pair of matching statement earrings that you can coordinate. This one that also has the green, it has the blue, and then it has the hint of the aurora borealis. Now, this is just an absolutely spectacular look. I mean, it really is. If you've ever looked at the long strands when you've seen the vintage advertisements from like the 1950s, the 1960s, I post those up pretty frequently where there's a lot of times it's a silhouette of a lady and she has like a lot of strands that are dangling down. I do believe that these would be very much in keeping with what would have been made from those from Coro, Lisner, Richelieu, all of those designers who did those longer strand necklaces that are popular in the 50s and the 60s. This one just has absolutely outstanding color. The fact that it has these really beautiful jewel tones all together really make it outstanding, but it's also super easy to wear it in a lot of different ways. So yesterday, as you saw, I wore it doubled up long, and I wore it with just a pair of navy pants. And then there was like a sort of velvety styled flock tank that I had on. It had an abstract rose print, and I wore it doubled. But it's always a piece that I always like to point out that I want people to see the versatility that goes into it. So if you like wearing things that are in lighter and in more pastel tones, keep in mind, as I go ahead and I put this underneath, this is something that will pop very lovely with the colors against something that's in a lighter tone. So this is kind of a mint, sort of a lighter green. I guess it's tending more towards a sea foam, but it is a lighter green. But then for those of you who, don't worry, I'll fix myself. For those of you who like those royal colors, this is another one that's going to be a great one to be able to mix with your royal colors as well, too. So you can see how this even pops against this really, really bright, true royal blue. And you can even see that if you're somebody who really, truly likes a green. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. This is an emerald green colored top that I have that is from J. Crew. As you can see, the label that's floating over it. But this would go very lovely with this as well. Also very easy though to wear with any of your classic neutrals. So today I have white, cream, ecru. You could definitely do this with your classic black. And you have the versatility of being able to have it worn with a lot of different necklines. Now, I did show it today. For all of you who saw my post yesterday, I showed it doubled up. Today, you can see I'm more of a doubled person. I like it more doubled, but I wanted to be able to actually show you that you actually can triple this up. So if you're somebody that really does like to have those big statement necklaces, which are very much in keeping with those classic couture style pieces too. You know, Chanel is always ropes and ropes of pearls. Couture, haute couture, it's always about the layering, the details, the colors. So for those of you who are looking for an outstanding piece, the colors, and yes, Katie said the same thing, the colors are just really fantastic. So it's one definitely that's worth taking the time to take a closer look at. It does have a pair of matching earrings. It does have gold filigree beads and some Aurora Borealis that are mixed inside of it. And if you love to double up and have the sets, there is a pair of matching earrings. I would like to say one more thing before I move on from talking about this necklace is that if you love a piece that is like this, something to keep in mind is that it's actually very lightweight. It is a lot of statements, a lot of bang for your buck, a lot of bang for your style. That's very, very easy to be able to wear and enjoy and actually feel like you can wear it all day long. It's just a fabulous piece. Thank you, Sama Jo Sells. I'm so glad you're joining us. Yes, thank you. This is a gorgeous piece. This one, I'm dating it from the 50s and 60s. And I'm thinking because of the Aurora Borealis mixed in with the filigree, I'm thinking it's more mid 50s, early 60s in terms of the vibe and the style of it. So it's a super fun piece. And this is definitely one that I think that someone should add to their jewelry box. And if you are interested in seeing the earrings, I also have the earrings. Like I said, I'll take a moment to kind of highlight those. This is a super fabulous pair of earrings that actually match. They're a cluster style. They're a clip back. They're very well balanced. So just very easy to be able to wear and be able to enjoy them. So they're a nice size. They obviously match the necklace perfectly, but also really super great colors. Again, if I'm just going to pull up those two shirts again, I had both as an example. I'll toss them both over my shoulders. This is that same kind of color palette. So if these are colors that you frequently wear, this is a great opportunity to be able to pick up some of the colors that you might wear in your own clothes and your own pattern. Okay, it says that an error occurred. I should send it in the chat again. I think we got it that time. Okay, up next, we have another really fabulous piece. And I was talking to somebody else who is very new to collecting vintage jewelry. Michelle, so she just added that one to her collection. Thank you. I'm so glad that you did. I promise you, it is one that you will enjoy wearing on repeat. And I know for some of you serious collectors and people that just enjoy wearing jewelry, both collecting it and looking at it, both wearing it and appreciating it, that's definitely the style of a piece that would be one that you'll really enjoy wearing over and over again and receive tons of compliments when you do. So the next one, though, I do want to talk about is this absolutely fantastic Juliana bracelet that we have. So this was a piece that I actually sourced while I was on vacation. So at the very beginning of July, it is every bit as sparkly as you're seeing it. It is a 5-link Juliana. So for those of you who are your Juliana collectors, you know about the different kinds of styles and designs that Deliza and Elster made. They, of course, were in business much longer than when the Juliana line only did their line at the very late 60s, technically only 2 years under the actual Juliana company, or I should say the branch out. So this is that 5-link bracelet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 links. That's one of the indicative features of identifying it, besides the construction. And then what's neat about this one is that this one has got a nice combination of both open back stones as well as having the closed back ones. It has some marquee style stones that are set in the center. But as you can see, if I go ahead and I hold it upside down, it's a cha-cha style too. So it's fun because when you put it on, you really do get the movement the whole time. And then this is another one that it can go a lot of different ways. It has a pastel vibe when you see it, when you just see it like with the white.
but it's another one that actually lends itself to being able to be worn with a lot of different colors. So don't shy away from it, because for me, this is a piece that I would wear with winter white and gray. This is a piece that if I bring back up that sort of mint color top, I would wear it again with this kinds of different sort of colors with the mint. I love that it has the gold with it. And then, of course, I think that everything always looks fantastic with boucle. So this is a J. Crew boucle jacket. It has that Chanel vibe. What's nice about this one is that it has a cap sleeve that you can turn in. So it's nice when you can be able to put a piece of jewelry and actually have it stick out from the sleeves. So it's a really fantastic piece. I do want to just encourage people that if you're thinking about, well, what would I wear with that? These are all examples of great pieces that you could wear with it. And again, if you're really toned to wearing those warmer tones, remember, this does look very elegant with gold. It is a gold setting that it is in. So this is the bracelet. This is another really super fun one that we have. Saying that if I leave here, so like I said, be patient with me tonight. I'm flying solo. Leanne has been, we should all wish her well. I hope she doesn't mind mentioning it too. Her mother fell and her mother broke her hip. And so Leanne has been tending a lot to her, helping her much the same way that I help my parents in the morning and in the evening. So she gets a free pass tonight, but then you'll have to be patient while I'm showing you all the jewelry. So this is the crystal bracelet. There is a pair of matching earrings that go with it. So this one's a fabulous pair. This is a great because it has that cha-cha style that is with it. And I know the other one is here. Everything has got to be here. I had it on the same tray. Oh, you would think, oh, here it is. It was just turned upside down. And then this is the matching earring that goes with it too. So, of course, it's super easy. Oh, Michelle's helping me out, too. She's dropping links also. Everybody's working hard here at Vintage Meet Modern. So this is, yeah, we put our customers to work. No, that just goes to show how much everybody loves being able to be part of the Vintage Meet Modern family. So, yes, and it really is. If you're first time joining us, please introduce yourself, say hello, tell us where you're from. If you have questions about vintage jewelry, go ahead and please ask them. If you've got questions about jewelry, I was just thinking this to myself as my daughter is going off to college. I've been working in the jewelry and the accessories industry since I was 18. And I started selling my first accessories when I was 16, when I sold ties at J. Riggins. So accessories and apparel have been a part of my life for, wow, decades now. And the other thing is I was just looking for those of you who have been watching me on some of my sourcing trips. Recently, things are beginning to open back up. Like I said, this is a piece that I picked up in Wisconsin, very close to the Minnesota border. And it's actually somebody who I haven't seen in over 2.5 years. And she still remembered me. So this is a beautiful bracelet that we had, but it's also 8 years ago that I was just getting ready to do the Vintage Garage Chicago up in Evanston. So lots of good memories and lots of celebration of the joy of jewelry with people just for years. So I'm glad that you're all here. And if you are even new to wearing and collecting vintage, this is just a great time to sit back and relax and learn a little something, but also I really want to inspire you to see how easy it is to be able to add a touch of this elegance and glamour to your everyday. I mean, you saw me earlier. I took off the bright orange blouse because I wanted to be able to show you a little bit better. But, you know, I wore this brooch from the 1940s to the bus stop this morning. I had to take the brooch off, though, later on because I was with the baby. So this is the Juliana bracelet. It is a 5-link. It's as long as I'm here, I'll hold up also. We have another Juliana bracelet. This one is also a 5-link. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is actually, you can kind of tell by the back of this one. This one's a little more indicative of actually being able to identify with the Juliana because you can see there's the puddling that's even right there besides the 5-link that's popular with it. This one is very similar to the same sort of style that we have with the one that has the cha-cha on it. It just has less cha-chas. I don't know if that's what you would refer to them as. It has less cha-chas. And it also has clear diamante rhinestones. And it also has some Aurora Borealis that has been mixed in. And you're not going crazy. These are just the safety chains. They have the original safety chains that are on them. I'm just not doing them because it would take me forever in a day in order to be able to get them on and off. But for those of you who are Aurora Borealis lovers, there's lots of great pieces to match up. I have the matching earrings for the pastel Cha-Cha bracelet, but for the classic Juliana bracelet, there's a lot of great options too. So there is a matching Juliana brooch that features the same Cha-Cha dangles. And this one is cool because this one can be worn as a pendant and it can be worn as a brooch. And remember, I hate to say it, but coat season is coming again. And do you all remember when I did the giveaway and we did the giveaway with Coat Check? Don't worry, I've got something coming up with her too. So we'll be talking about how to accessorize and how to wear brooches and how to add them to your look. I'm excited because I just actually ordered a jacket from J. Crew Factory. And now everybody knows, and I'm just full disclosure, I very much shop my closet. I always try to reduce, reuse, and recycle. I'm always passionate about thrifting. I was so proud. My daughter wore a 1960s skirt that I wore from my class yesterday to go out with her friends. So that was super fun. But I am very proud and very happy. I did lose. Now it's close to 50 pounds this year. So when I'm getting ready to do my fall wardrobe update, I am treating myself to some new things because I've lost enough weight that I do need clothes that fit better. So I did get myself a new jacket this year, which not that long ago, I had to buy myself a bigger jacket because I needed a warmer winter coat. So I did order a jacket and I'll share it with you. It's from J. Crew Factory. And it's a nice fitted jacket that's a combination between like a trench and a peak coat. So it's actually one that lends itself really well to wearing brooches. And it also has a very, very soft sheen to it, kind of like a little bit of a lurex type feel to it. So it's also great structure. So I'm starting Brightline Eating to drop the pounds. I did it through Weight Watchers, and this is like the fourth time I've done it through Weight Watchers. I just was very vigilant this time. I loved getting those little rewards saying that I was tracking my weight every day. We're back to jewelry though. So, but thank you. And I wish you all lots of well, because don't forget, like the jewelry is part of our therapy. It's about our personal style. It's about helping us look and feel our best. And the jewelry always fits. It's one of those things I love talking about because it will transcend through time. And the pieces are so timeless and unique that if they look this good and they're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, with just a little bit of upkeep, you are getting to be part of a different style story. Another piece of style legacy is living on with you, and you're having something that is so completely unique to you. Nobody can find these pieces easily unless they're going out searching for them. And many of you enjoy the thrill of the hunt as much as I do, but you still love seeing what other people find. So it's super fun. We do have a lot of great pieces. I'm going to segue by, as long as I still have these other bracelets on, and I'm going to show you a few other pieces up for your consideration. And again, for those of you who are just joining me, if you're like, wow, this girl's got a lot of jewelry. We do have a lot of jewelry, but that's because things quickly move around here. But no, you don't have to wear them all together. But yes, if you'd like to wear them all together, you can. So another really fantastic example of Aurora Borealis and just absolutely outstanding workmanship is we have a fabulous brooch that is from Weiss. This is a Weiss brooch. I was just looking last night and I was thinking about Costume Jewelry 303. I was reading that book last night and I was looking at the different designs because there's a lot of interesting ways to be able to identify jewelry besides just maker's mark. So this is that classic Juliana. We looked at the classic Juliana. Now we're looking at something that is a classic Weiss styling. And there was a lot of talk in the book that I was reading last night about the construction about this particular design from Weiss. So this sort of open, sort of circle-y wreath type look is something that is actually very indicative of their personal style. Now, I like this piece for a lot of different reasons. If it pops this nicely just against classic white, think about all of the different gorgeous colors and different styles that you can wear this with. This is definitely one of those pieces that you can just truly enjoy wearing over and over again. And one of the fun parts about this Aurora Borealis set that I have, and we get a lot of Aurora Borealis pieces in this, is that there are some variations in the colors of the coating with the Aurora Borealis. And what I mean by that is this one has very much a golden glow to it. So for those of you who like being able to pick up more on the silver tone, you're still getting that with the rhodium plating. And for those of you who like to pick up a little bit more on the golden tone, so we're thinking about what kind of colors you actually wear in your wardrobe. If you tend to wear more warm tones, this will be a very elegant addition. And if you tend to wear more cool tones, you're also going to have an opportunity to do that. So for example, like I said, now I'm putting it up against the mint, and you can see how pretty it looks like with that one. If you're a royal, like a jewel tone type girl, if you like wearing blues, you can look at how fantastic that looks. Remember, these pieces don't just look awesome and amazing just against classic black and white. They really, they just set a piece apart from whatever you're wearing, especially when you put them with the colors. And that's one of the best parts about the vintage jewelry. For those of you who are thinking about adding pieces, you're getting ready for your fall look, you're just intrigued. That's one of the best parts about the vintage pieces is the colors are so dynamic that if you've ever thought about how you're going to add a color or bring out a color in what you're wearing, Alicia says that Aurora Borealis brooch looks like something a fairy godmother would wear, and she's right, or a fairy godmother would bring. So I don't disagree. And it's one of those ones that, you shouldn't shy away from, because if you love wearing different colors, this one is actually one that'll work very, very easily with whatever tones you're putting it with. See how I even put it up against the gold? And like I said, you get all those pretty flashes of yellow. So I'm just layering it on. And there is a matching pair of earrings that go with this one, and they are a cluster style as well. All of the pieces that I do have here that I'm showing to you, though, they are all signed Weiss. They are all signed Weiss pieces. So remember, the signed pieces are always very easy to be able to retain their value. So, and for those of you who are looking for a little bit with a different shape, and we had different people say, it was so much fun, and don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. We had a lot of people enter the Tuesday giveaway. Lots of people told us about their favorites, and I'm very happy that you did. It makes it easier for me to help find the perfect pieces when we're getting ready to put them online. But yesterday we were asking people if they liked the flower or if they liked the Weiss, and believe it or not, it was 50-50. So the beauty of both of these is obviously the fact that they're gorgeous with the Aurora Borealis tones. This one has more of a structural figural design with it because it has an actual floral design. And this one, what's really outstanding about it is that it has these very nicely done baguettes going all around the petals. That makes this one really just a nice one with the workmanship, because we do see a lot of baguette work with diamante or the classic clear rhinestones. We don't always see it in the Aurora Borealis. And even similar to like the Juliana bracelet that I had on earlier, with a combination of both the diamante and the combination of the Aurora Borealis, this one is all Aurora Borealis. So this one's really neat. I do think that it's super awesome that if you do go take a closer look at it on the website, pay attention to that detail that it has the baguettes set with it, because that's just kind of one of the cool features of this particular piece versus just a regular Aurora Borealis brooch. I mean, when we look at the detailing in these pieces, that's really truly where we see like the workmanship is just not what we typically see when we go out and about shopping now. And like I said, the luster, the sparkle, all of these gorgeous pieces, it just makes it very easy to be able to wear them over and over again. Okay, so moving on, I know that there are a few other pieces that people have been really intrigued about and wanted some additional information on. So I'll talk about some of those now. So many favorites this week, and so many favorites that I saw that you had this week too. And I did get orders out yesterday. We were a little slower. The baby was just needed to be held, for those of you who have been following along. And God bless it for those of you, you do know that this was a baby that we really, really hoped and prayed for, since my sister lost her twins last year. So this is definitely a miracle. This is definitely a rainbow baby. So I am definitely getting in as many baby snuggles as I can. Now we're going to talk about this beautiful brooch, which is it's a Fanagard. I did look up the company. They were popular in the 50s and the 60s, and this is a Victorian courting scene. And it features a beautiful lady in a garden with a beautiful little gent. And they have just very lovely colors and detailing to them. I always talk about these pieces. They fall in the same category of when I joke about ugly cameos, you know, how some cameos look really good and some cameos don't. In terms of painted porcelain or transferware pieces, this one gets a thumbs up. Everybody looks fantastic in this one. It does have artist detailing in the styling that if you look close to it, you can see very nicely that she has nice definition with her dress. You can see the different kinds of shadowings and shadings in the man's suit. I say this because I worked in interior design for a long time, and when I did renderings, something that I was always known for was that people always complimented me on how well I would shade my angles and my lines so that people could really see the different kinds of definition in what kinds of different pieces people had. So I love this one because it has just such fantastic detailing on it. And I'll go ahead and I'll drop this into the comment box as well. I know Michelle's been really super helpful with dropping them in also. And I'll also see if I can share my screen. I don't know if I can, but we'll try. Here we go. Now you can see it. There you go. So that is the Victorian hoarding scene. There's the brooch. This one's over for $55. It's a really nice piece. I also love the fact that if you look up across at the top, going around at the side, it does have a little nice scalloping detailing. It has a very pretty frame that goes along with it. So this is another nice one. And again, let's just talk about some of the really, really easy ways to be able to wear it. So when I'm thinking about colors, again, of putting this one again, if you're like me and you like jackets that have a little bit of a structure to them, this one, again, this one is a bit of a boucle. This one has got different colors, threads running through it. So this one's a pretty example of how that you could pull out basically kind of any kind of colors you want to put with it. If you want to bring out more blues, you can bring out more blues. If you want to bring out more of the reds and the pinks and the greens, you can definitely put it against there. This is an example of how if you lay something that's more subtle, that this is going to blend in a little bit more with what you're wearing. But I also want to point out, again, I'm going to use the green as an example of it. This is a solid green blouse. And so for those of you, you can see how nicely that if you put this against a solid color, you see the way that the white really pops really nicely against a darker background. So that's one of the benefits of being able to add pieces like this, besides the fact that they have this romantic, picturesque feeling to it, which I absolutely love and adore. I mean, I love anything that has those, Megan said, it's so sweet. It does. I love when something has that sweet memento, a token type feeling to it. I love the simplicity of it. And of course, I love anything that is, let's not even go down a segue of something else, but I love something that depicts a relationship or a friendship, something that is sweet, because everything is about what we crave in life is being connected to each other and being connected to people. And so I always love when we can find things like this. Also, just somebody who enjoys art in general. This is an era in which there's so much great art that comes out of it. It's kind of nice being able to have your own little portrait of something. So that's a super fun one. I also like the fact that this one's really easy to wear with a lot of different kinds of jewelry. So you can very easily be able to mix and match this with pearls. You can easily, and we have lots of different pieces that we can. This one is an example. So this one's a nice 1940s. I kind of like the way that you can pull up on the nature aspect with the screw back earrings, is that you also see depicted in sort of this floral garden that they're in. These are 120 12 karat gold filled. And what's nice about them is that they are actually rose gold, green gold, and yellow gold. And you know, I don't ever really see those combinations very often, except for Black Hills gold. Does anybody else collect Black Hills gold? My grandmother used to give me a lot of Black Hills gold when I was growing up, when I was little. Segue short story. My grandmother, so when you were second grade and you received your first Holy Communion, that's when you were allowed to get your ears pierced. And I was able to get my ears pierced. And that's what I had. I had a sweet little pair of grape earrings that were like Black Hills gold that had green and yellow, and yeah, they were great. So these are awesome. These are screwbacks. I'm going to see if I wish you could see on the other side of the camera right now. I moved my chair, and for some reason, Sparky, our Labradoodle, he thinks it's like his chair now. I had to move the chair. For those of you who ever watch my little styling videos, I had to move the chair that I had that's always in the corner there. And I had to move it because it was stopping me from being able to open the doors super easy to get the jewelry out of. So I thought to myself, like, I really need to move this. So I moved it on the other side of the room, but now Sparky thinks that it's like his chair. So he's like all cuddled up watching us on the other side here. So these are those little petite 120 12 karat gold earrings. Megan says, hi from Honey and Foxy. That's so fun. I always said that after we had our yellow lab that we weren't going to have another dog, and then we got Sparky. So these earrings they're great. So they do feature the tri-colored gold, and I do like them because they have the look and the feel of real gold, because 120 12 karat is real gold. And they also have a very nice, pretty texture design. They're also very lightweight. I might mention for somebody who Megan says, I don't have any, but I have heard of it. Yeah, Black Hills Gold was very popular. And we have a really beautiful pair of earrings that these are really fantastic because they go with a lot of the same pastel color pieces that I'm showing you tonight. So a few other examples of pieces that you can also pair this up with very easily is you can pull out the same colors in the portrait brooch that we have. So you can see the way that you can pull out the same greens and golds even in what she wears. Do you know why some of the designers have signed and unsigned pieces? Seems they all should be signed. Well, that's an interesting question that you asked there, Teresa. Well, signing and not signing jewelry is something that became, specifically with costume jewelry and designer jewelry, became very popular, at least in people wanting to stake their claims in the 1930s and in the 1940s. Chanel herself is actually a pretty good example of that. She actually ran a company also named Chanel out of business, claiming basically that they didn't have the rights to the name Chanel, even though they had been in business and they had been designing jewelry longer before them. I believe that a lot of the information, if you go back and even if you look in Costume Jewelry 202, or even if you just do a little research online, in the 1920s, 1930s, very up like 1930s, 1940s, there were a lot of issues with patents. One of the most collected brands is Coro, because Coro Coro, Crown Trifari, Napier, they all made jewelry for such a long time that certain types of things were beginning to become copied, not just designed aesthetically, but I'd say Coro is probably one of the best examples of it, is that they also copied people's designs, but they also, because they produced so many designs, had their designs copied. So it did become more popular for companies to stake their claims on things by actually stamping their jewelry and having their names and having their hallmarks on it. Now, that's not to say, though, that also there had gone through different periods all throughout, I'd say, each decade where you might see more patent numbers signed on things. Because, for example, the Monet friction back, that's their patent. Not anybody else really uses the friction back because Monet holds the patent on it. There's also Signer. Signer has the little gray clips that are in the back that slip over on their earrings. They won't even tell you where they get those from. So there are certain elements to it. I do know for a long time, if any of you have ever followed Robin Deutsch is another very serious, very esteemed, prestigious collector of vintage and fine jewelry from all over the world. She used to spend hours at the Library of Congress just studying the patents on pieces. So we can learn a lot about the patents. But if you're asking the specific question about why some designers have them signed and have them not, a little bit has to do with construction of the pieces. In Giuliana, that's kind of a mystery as to why that they didn't have their pieces signed. They believed that their particular pieces were identified by their manufacturing. So the puddling, the 5 links, certain ways that rivets are, those types of things, everything that is indicative. But there are entire groups that just study whether pieces are actually Giuliana or Deliza and Elster or not. So there's a lot of information that's on that type of information. But Juliana, their claim to fame is that, you know, they believe that their pieces were identified by the hang tags that they had when they sold them in the stores. So they didn't mark their jewelry. But I do agree. I do think that lots of designers, it seems that they should all be signed, and certainly they should all be signed. It just seems like there are different times where people wanted to be more specific about having pieces assigned to a certain designer or not. It has certainly, though, also worked to certain brands' advantages in the fact that there are certain signed pieces that just always hold their value better than other brands. But that's not to say that there aren't a lot of what, quote, as we put it, as unsigned beauties. I do want to point out, so speaking of that, like when we were talking about Weiss, now something not uncommon with particular designers is that maybe things were sold in sets or they were sold in coordinates when they were in the counter. And frequently one thing that we see is, especially when pieces get split up from their friends, or people don't, you know, marry the pieces together, is that, you know, the earrings might be signed and then the brooch was signed, or the necklace was signed, but the earrings weren't signed. So sometimes it's a case of pieces went together and then they got split up, and so we don't know who the signature is. I'm going to say that Garnier, it's Garne. If you ever look them up, they're a perfect example of that. Their brooches are never signed. The earrings always are. So, but they're very indicative of the styles. You can definitely tell that if you find the earrings, that you can easily identify that the same sort of colors and stylings are with a similar brooch or necklace or bracelet or something like that. It just so happens, though, that it is true. The earrings were signed, but the brooches and the other pieces of the jewelry were not. So I'm sorry if I went off on a little bit of that, but that's just part of learning and loving and collecting. And it's also another way to be able to kind of decide, like, when I do have a video coming up on that shortly about how, like, what my strategy is for, like, when I'm shopping, because my strategy is different than a collector's strategy. I buy pieces based not only on the collecting and the decades. I buy things actually thinking about the same way that I show the clothes when I do things. I buy pieces that I know are going to be able to be worn over and over again with what I actually wear. So when I'm shopping out and about and I'm going to the antique malls, or I'm working with my fellow vendors or things like that, I'm always looking at actually what is trending that women are wearing, and not necessarily even wearing because they're treating themselves to a bunch of new clothes that season, if it makes sense. I'm always trying to pick pieces that will always be in style and that you can actually wear them with what you have. A lot of this gets started like with the fact that I have worked with so many people throughout the years who have said, well, I have it and I love it. I just don't know what to wear it with. And maybe I sound a little bit like a broken record, but I'm like, that's what we're here to help you with. We're not only here to help you find the perfect pieces, but we're here to help inspire you to wear them. And we're hoping to connect you to other women who like wearing them too, which is why we all come here together. So next up, speaking of things that are very easy to wear, a great cameo earring will never let you down. So this is a really beautiful piece. And speaking of not signed jewelry, I do believe these are probably Whiting and Davis. And it's another great example of how a lot of Whiting and Davis pieces, some of them were signed, some of them weren't signed, but a lot of them were all of the same, quote, design, meaning like different variations of different settings, different scales of different settings. And this definitely falls into the category of a piece that would be probably like that. So these have a little bit of a gold scroll frame around them. They have the sweetest, and the reason why I put it up with this is that if you take a closer look at this topaz, the smoky crystal ring that I have, up at the very, very, very bottom and top down here, there's actually a teeny tiny little crystal, and it kind of looks the same. So it's super fun the way that you can kind of pull together the different pieces. And then of course, I like the fact that you got a similar shape with a similar shape. I think it's just fun the way that you can kind of pull all of it together. So this is a really awesome earring. It's also very well balanced. It's another one of those examples of being a lightweight one. I was really excited. We recently received a review from somebody who said, I can't believe clip earrings are as comfortable as they are and that they don't pull on your lobe like my long earrings do. And I thought to myself, I'm glad someone else understands my own challenge. I rarely ever wear pierced earrings because I have a metal sensitivity, but the clip earrings never bother me. So this very pretty cameo is a perfect example of ones that can go with your warm tones and your cool tones very nicely. And there's a lot of different jewelry that you would be able to wear. I used to have a whole set that goes with that ring. I'm so sad I sold it. This cupcake style, or sometimes they call it a cage style, I think is one of the most timeless styles that you can. Um, the good news is, Megan, that it's I wouldn't say easy. I would say that you can come across it a little bit more frequently. Yep, um, buttercup, cage design, cupcake. Lots of different people kind of describe it different ways. This is a nice large oval. I love that ring, but I need a 7. I'm not sure. I don't have my ring sizer out in front of me. This one might be a 7 or an 8. But this one is the cognac color. And I just love this very rich tone. And I do feel that it really has this very nice high end fine jewelry look to it. So this one is a great piece, and it goes with a variety of different pieces. Really lovely. Like I said, you can kind of match this up to the cameo really easily. We have another oval pair of pearl earrings. You can see how nice that this goes with just classic pearls. Earlier today, you saw I had the kind of champagne kind of colored pearls with the 1940s brooch. You can see how this ring just kind of goes a little bit with everything. So this one's another really great piece that we have. It's one of those ones that if you're thinking about, well, what other kinds of styles of jewelry do I have? Whatever kind of brooches do I have? It will definitely go with everything, even though it's that brown color. And yesterday, I sat in on a style chat where people were talking about how their favorite color combination is actually putting this sort of cognac brown color with black. So people love mixing black and brown together also. Now, also, this is kind of cool. This is sort of fun. I lucked out and I work with a lady who's in Milwaukee, and I go and I visit her once in a while, and she had all of these rings. If I'm turning it over so you can see it, who remembers Gimbals? Gimbals department store. So these are actually new old stock rings that I have. They're from Gimbals. They are also even stamped on here that they're genuine stones. This one is an 18 karat heavy gold plate. But this one also has right on it that it is a dinner ring and that it's a size 7 and that it's with actual genuine stones. And it has the original Gimbals tag on it. So we had the jade one. The jade one sold. So this one is the one that's the opal. Remember, if we're thinking in our fine jewelry terms, opals, they're cut into different layers. So this is probably an opal triplet. It's probably not a real opal first tier. It's probably cut into it. But this is the opal cluster ring. It's set in an 18 karat gold plated setting. It is a genuine stone. It is fun. Like I said, it's got the original tags on it. So that's kind of fun. This one is also, this one's part of this one collection also. This one is also from Gimbals. This one is a beautiful pearl cluster cocktail ring. Fantastic. It has beautiful pearls going around it. It has a very slight dome. It has a center stone. Has a little bit of crinkling detailing going around with it. And then it has got some very pretty rhinestones that have been mixed into it. Best part about this ring is that you see the inner band that is in here. And so for those of you who have different size knuckles, or you want a ring that could be a little bit smaller, I think that even if this is like the size that's perfect for you, the best part about these rings is that they prevent them from spinning because you can adjust the band on the inside. So this one is the pearl one that we have. And then this one is also, if this is a little bit too big for you, this one's also cool too. This one has the original Gimbals tag on it also. And this one is a Crown Trifari. So this one is a really nice ring also. This ring would have been very expensive back when Gimbals was open. So, and it's an old Crown Trifari Mark II. So it's a late 60s ring. It's in fantastic condition. All of these are new old stock, which is really cool. And again, this one's neat also because this one also has the inner band on the inside also. So you can also adjust this one from a sizes. And this one, I know when I was playing with it, I was able to get the band to go down as small as a size 4. And I was able to have it go all the way up to be a size 7. So whether you're a big pearl or a small pearl girl, I got you covered. So we've got these really awesome rings. And like I said, it's fun because they're from Gimbals. So it's nice when we can find something that actually has the original tags on it. It's kind of cool. I always like being able to find the things that are new old stock. It's a perfect example of, for those of you who really like celebrating the sustainable fashion movement. I know you all hear me talk about that a lot. Just because I, even though I've worked in fashion, I've worked in retail, I've sold over $5 million worth of jewelry in my lifetime, from fine jewelry, precious gemstones, designer jewelry. At one time I had sold over $750,000 of David Yurman jewelry. So it's not like I don't know my other designers as well too. I just happen to really love the vintage jewelry specifically myself because the designs are so unique. And in addition to the designs being so unique, this is a perfect example of something that is like new with tags from the 1960s. And it's just still in such perfect condition. So instead of going out and having to have a whole bunch of new things, when you take care of what you have, you can enjoy it over and over again. And all of these pieces have such a pretty design, such a pretty style. They go so nicely with so many other pieces that we have. We've got these gorgeous little pearl and aurora borealis earrings, but you can also match up these little pearl pieces to other classic pearl pieces that you have. You probably all have a pair of pearl earrings in your jewelry box or a pearl necklace. So if you're looking for a fun pearl ring to add to your collection, we've got two here and they're just absolutely outstanding. And then of course the oval is super fun. And that cognac colored one that I had also, that one is also part of this whole little happy family here. They all came from Gimbals. So fun fact, all that new old stock, I don't like using the term dead stock. So lots of people say it's dead stock. I don't like calling it dead stock. I like calling it new old stock. It's going to be new old stock to someone else. It's not dead yet. So all right, now we have the teeniest, tiniest. I feel like there should be like a string quartet playing in the background when I put these on. We have got the smallest, little, sweetest little Wedgwood cameo earrings. And for those of you who, and keep in mind, I will also say that when I started out in this industry, I sold diamonds that were like this big, and when I'd see like a big diamond, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that jewelry is so big. Who's going to wear that? And now I'm like, give me the torsade. Give me the one that's got 10 strands. Give me the statement earrings that hang 3 inches. I love all of these little tiny ones. So these are those little tiny petite cameo earrings. They're Wedgwood style. So they've got the light blue color and then they have the white cameo that's over them. They have the sweetest little clip backs. They're very lightweight. So for those of you who ever worry about, well, I like the clip backs, but the clip backs are so tight. The clipbacks on these are so small that they are almost like little wires. They just kind of go up and they sort of curve over just the side. So they really just, when you press them into your ear, that is sort of what anchors them in. So this pair I also just recently picked up. We always have a lot of people who really love collecting Wedgwood. If you remember when I did my collaboration with Pender and Peony last year during Christmas time, a lot of the focus was actually on Wedgwood decorating her tree and then Wedgwood as the place settings. And then we had the Wedgwood cameos. So whenever I can pick up cameos that have that same sort of Wedgwood styling to them, I always do. So these are very petite, very tiny, very pretty, but they are absolutely perfect to wear every day. And as I wind down with my jewel tones, we also have a very tiny pair. I do pick these up because, again, I'm meeting more and more people who are like me, and even though they have piercers, they only wear clip earrings. And I always have people who are looking for pieces. I bought my blue cameo earrings from that sale. There we go. See? That's awesome. So then you like all those pieces that like are part of the Pender and Peony look too. So yay! I love connecting with my fellow other. I collect blue and white. I do have a lot of Wedgwood, but I also have a lot of blue and white. I have a lot of transfer wear. I have a lot of cabbage plates. Let's see. Right now, I have a lot of lemons. And what else did I recently just pick up? Oh, I got that amazing it was like a 1930s, 1940s Noritake salad bowl that had the porcelain tongs on it. And there is an entire collector's club for Noritake pieces from the 30s and 40s, and they live in Australia, and I could not believe how active the group was. And they had all these pieces from North Point, and I posted on there, and people were like, "Oh, what a great find!" And I'm known for making big salads. When people come to my houses, they're always like, "Oh, you're going to make a salad," which sounds so funny, but that's kind of what I'm known for. Well, I don't know. If y'all come here and you ever meet me sometime, I'll feed everyone. So one thing that my sister did say when she had the baby, she goes, "I'm looking forward to it." She goes, "You'll always bring over a lot of good food." So yesterday I made chicken pot pie with puff pastry. Today I made meat sauce with bolognese. Tomorrow I'm making this stir fry dish that my children love that I make for them because I can get vegetables into them when I make it with the stir fry. So as I segue, and do I wear all this jewelry while I do all that? I do. I just put an apron on. So this is the Regency brooch. Michelle was awesome. She earlier went ahead and put it up. And then these are the little Aurora Borealis earrings that are with the green and the blue tone. So they've got the aqua tone, and there's a lot of awesome things that you could do. Gail says she loves that bowl too. Okay, I have to say, I'm going to tell Gail just quickly because Gail also follows me on my like little segues when I go off talking about wallpaper. I just learned that there's a hashtag for Wallpaper Wednesday. So as if you don't know enough of the other things that I like to do in my spare time, I'm really into wallpaper. Like wallpapers come back into style, but I have always been into wallpaper. So, all right, so now I'm putting it up, and you can see that if you are looking for something to flash more of a blue, this will go very lovely with your blue tones too. This looks really fantastic with navy. So this is a fun piece to be able to add, and they're also very petite. This Regency brooch, which I had brought up earlier, is another example of a really great piece that you can put against darker colors and then also mix it with the tones that are already in the brooch. But I do want to be able to show you, for example, I know I have white, so you're seeing things in white, but if I bring up this is another pin dot blouse that has a little bit of flocking running through it. This is another J. Crew piece, but I got this through ThredUp. So a lot of times I do a lot of things. I send things both to ThredUp, and I also shop on ThredUp because, like I said, when I am. But doesn't this just look absolutely spectacular actually against lighter colors? So this is another example of how when people think, well, what would I wear that with? This is a really beautiful example of how you can easily mix this with just lighter tones. And even though it is a darker tones when it's coming out with the darker blue and the green, when you look against it on the website and you look against in the background, but now when you see it against a lighter color fabric, you can really see how the dynamic colors play together. And even if I just tilt it back and forth, you can see you're even getting a little bit more of a yellowish tone and a little bit more of a gold tone with it too. So this is another just absolutely fantastic piece. And go back, there's at least a blog post or there's at least a video or a story or something. This one, if you put it on from this way to this way, actually looks really nice as a pendant too. So if you have a brooch converter, this looks fantastic going across the top of this. Also, if you're thinking of different ways to be able to add brooches to your cardigan season is coming, you can always put it through the top two buttons like I do. So lots of pretty things. I mean, we've had a great night. I'll be anxious to see which pieces are your favorites. We know that I loved the blue and green necklace, but that one's one that we'll be wrapping up for a new home. Thank you, Michelle. But we have a lot of really fantastic rings, a lot of really beautiful pieces that go with pearls. I think the cameos in the shell cameo tone are really outstanding. But I gotta say, like the absolute showstoppers are those, those Juliana bracelets. They're fabulous. They're awesome. I mean, they're just great. So on that note, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to tell you, this is all the tray that we have. We have a lot of really beautiful pieces, and everything that you see, you can see and purchase over at Vintage Meet Modern. And I hope you do treat yourself to something fantastic because you deserve it. And now, without further ado, I did manually cut up all of these tabs. Used to have the kids do it when they were little, but they all went back to school. So it was me cutting them out today. But we did an amazing job over in the Style Society for those of you who voted. I'm going to pull the name now of our $25 gift card winner. I think when I totaled it up, when I had something, there was well over 120 people put in here. So I know that the tags look small, but there's just a lot of them cut up on top of each other. But I did go back. If I didn't reply to you, as long as I put a like text to everybody, I entered everybody. That's what I did this morning. I'm going to go ahead, close my eyes. And I'm going to say that, hey, Michelle Chambers, thanks for tuning in tonight. She said that she was new to joining us. And guess what? You just won a $25 gift card to Vintage Meat Modern. So congratulations. Email us over at help@vintagemeatmodern.com and we will get you set up with a $25 gift card code. So that was fun. Thanks for telling me that you joined us because you said I'm new and this is my first time making it. So congratulations. We love when we get to do that. But as always, we love when you all show up. Recently I was having this discussion with somebody and they were saying, how long do you think you're going to keep doing this? And I said, I don't know how long I'll keep doing anything just because that's the nature of life. But I do know that I always love getting to show up here every week with you and getting to talk to you about the jewelry. And even though I do most of the talking, I do go back and I read all of your comments, and just your support just means more than you know. And I really do mean it. Every single one of you is special and beautiful, and I'm so grateful for your support. But I'm also really happy that everyone who comes together gets to connect with each other too. When we all come together, we really make a difference in a world where, I'm not even going to say who knows what's going on, but there's always going to be a lot of things that are going to be going on. But when we come together, when we celebrate our personal style, when we cultivate getting to be the best versions of ourselves, when we're cheered on by other women who want us to be the best versions of ourselves, it's like our jewelry is our superpower. So I'm glad that we all got to celebrate a little bit of our superpower and super sparkle with each other tonight. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. And hey, I'll see you all again real soon. Bye.